the Las Vegas Raiders. Seattle wins the toss. They will boot it away, so we'll get a look first at the Raiders offense. Jason Myers, the 7th-year man out of Marist, will kick it away. And back deep in the end zone, number 19, DJ Turner, a rookie from Pittsburgh, undrafted, was an all-ACC punt returner and kick returner for the Panthers last year.
If you had any kind of look at him in training camp, which we did, that's a thick man, man. That guy's got a big, thick, nice upper body, and he can scoot pretty good. Anxious to watch him.
I'm really anxious, Matt, to watch a lot of these young players. You know the nerves are really going. It's the first opportunity to touch the football in the National Football League.
And of course, always a spot for Rich Bisaccia, close to his heart, to pick one or two of these guys perhaps to be a key special teamer and make that roster of 53 as Turner spins it out across the 15 to the 17-yard line and a 13-yard return. Probably won't see Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota tonight. We will see a whole lot of Nathan Peterman, the 5th-year man out of Pittsburgh. Played in 3 games last year, Rich.
And a great opportunity for him, Beth, to get a lot of extended playing time tonight. Here's a quarterback who's been in the system for a couple years now. He understands the concepts, the principles. Will have a lot of freedom and flexibility at the line of scrimmage. The challenge for him, though, is managing these young players around him up front and the specialists as well.
Trey Regis, the rookie out of Louisiana, is the lone setback, and they'll use him in play action. And the first play of the preseason in front of the fans is going to be a sack for Brian Monet.
They tried to go deep down the left side. Looks like they had a little pressure on the top left side of that offensive line. Keep in mind, you're going to see what you're looking at right here. Parker Simpson, James, Lester Cotton, and Alex Leatherwood. Guys you want to keep your eyes on tonight is 68 and 70.
Doss and Zay Jones will start at wideout, and Alec Ingold will see some time at fullback. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Peterman out into the flat, and a catch for Zay Jones. Everybody in the receiving corps, guys, taking a step up. Ruggs, Renfro, Edwards, the expected starters, and then the veterans behind them, Jones, John Brown, and Willie Snead, probably.
And they need more production, Beth, from this wide receiving corps. You think about how productive Darren Waller was last year. He had almost twice as many catches as the nearest wide receiver, so they definitely need more from those young wide receivers.
Nicely done by Zay Jones there to pick up a couple extras, give him 3rd and manageable right here.
That was offensive coordinator Greg Olson looking at, and Peterman has the first down yardage out across the 27 to Derek Carrier, the tight end.
First thing you want to look at there on the 3rd down when they know they're going to go throw is the protection up front. That time, very nicely done. Had time to step up in the pocket and find him across the middle.
For every Raiders first down at Allegiant Stadium this year, American First Credit Union will be donating $100 to the Raider Foundation. First and 10, and Trey Regis, who I think in training camp has already slid comfortably into the nickname Trey Vegas, gets the carry.
I really enjoyed our visit yesterday with offensive line coach Tom Cable, and he said the keys for the game for that group up front, a lot of different bodies in there. No free hitters on the quarterback and pass protection. He wants to see good pad level, man. He wants to see these guys come off on the football and knock some people back.
Yes, that's the most important thing is pad level. And you can tell, just watch inside in that offensive defensive front and see who comes off the ball the lowest. Low man wins. It's all about leverage.
More play action, and across the middle, incomplete, intended for John Smoke Brown.
You're not kidding, Beth. Smoke spent his first 7 seasons with Arizona, Baltimore, and Buffalo. The nickname in college was Smoke at Pittsburgh State. And I can see why at the 2014 NFL Combine, he ran a 40-yard dash in 4.34 seconds, which was the 3rd fastest time of any player ever at the Combine. He's got unusual straight line speed. Al Davis would have loved John Brown.
Yeah, we had a guy like him called Cliff Branch.
Yeah. Well, I hope soon to be Hall of Famer Cliff Branch. Deserves that spot in Canton. Of course, a couple of Raiders we'll be talking about tonight did get the call to the Hall. Peterman looking to go over the top down the far sideline, and he drops it right into the hands of Zay Jones. First down into Seahawk territory, Matt.
Rich, you got to love that throw. First of all, Nice job of Peterman stepping up a little bit. He's getting a little bit of pressure. They brought an extra guy, but he knew exactly where he wanted to go right from the start. Looks to the right, knows he has it on the left side, and he's using that sideline as an extra help. Look how he throws. That's a perfect throw.
Great
That's
anticipation and timing. Nice job getting it up and down quickly.
28 yards on that hookup. Peterman on the rollout. Carrier picks up a couple. Upended by Ryan Neal.
In a league where there's not a lot of depth at the quarterback position, the Raiders have a bunch of them that can all play. And Nathan Peterman, as I mentioned, Beth, has been in this system. He's an interesting quarterback. He's mobile. He's athletic. He's got some toughness to him. He can run around. I think he's become a better pocket passer, something that's really important in John Gruden's offensive scheme.
2nd down and 6 with the new center this year, Andre James, and the new right tackle, Alex Leatherwood. Their 1st-round pick, number 70. Good protection for Peterman. He's got time, and Regis is able to reach for 1st down yardage. And Rich, you know that the familiarity with Gruden and this system critical for a guy like Peterman.
It is, and even for a guy like Derek Carr, this will be Derek's 4th year in the system. So just think about it. They're not starting from scratch. So there's probably going to be 11 new quarterbacks in the league this year, different starting quarterbacks. The Raiders have continuity and consistency at the quarterback position, and that's absolutely critical.
Keep in mind also, Peterman has experience. So he got the snot beat out of him in the beginning.
He did.
Up in Buffalo. But right now, look, this offensive line is doing a really nice job.
Descriptive as always, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Millen.
I'm not supposed to say that.
Of course you can.
I mean, who anymore? I think you can say anything.
B.J. Evans
all good.
with the carry. Rookie out of Florida Atlantic.
I'm interested to see Andre James, guys.
Yeah.
He didn't play a snap last year on offense, primarily a special teams player. Just 1 career start. Certainly a player who needs reps. You put a lot on the shoulders of the center in this offense. That's the communication hub of the offensive line.
Yeah, he's a bright kid, though. The guy he knows his stuff, and they'll listen to him.
Peterman looking for Jones. Got some separation inside the 5. Did he hold on as he went out of bounds? They're saying he did at the 4-yard line.
That's another nice catch by Jones, but a tremendous throw. Good protection. He stays in the pocket, knows where he wants to go. Look at his ball. Right where it has to be. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, that's a catch for sure.
I'm really impressed, Matt, with his anticipation and his time. He's doing a nice job pushing the ball down the field, especially against man-to-man coverage,
right,
giving Zay Jones a chance to go up and make a play.
2nd pass play of over 20 yards. 1st and goal. Eric Groshek is the fullback here. They'll run it with Emmons up the gut. This is a point of emphasis, right, Rich? The red zone touchdown percentage last year was only about a 50-50 proposition.
It was, but one area they were pretty good, though, Beth, was in the goal-to-goal situations.
Yes.
They were one of only 2 teams, Atlanta being the other one, to score in every goal-to-goal possession. 37 times down here, 23 touchdowns and 14 field goals. But you're right, the red zone offense has to get better. The perimeter of the red zone offense, when they're outside that 10-yard line, they've stalled too many times last season.
Regis the lone setback. 3 tight ends to the right side. They'll run that way, and they will punch it in. And now the officials running on to say the ball may have popped out at the 1.
I think they're going to rule him just short.
They're going to rule him just short.
That's good. That's what they need. Line up, stay low, come off the ball. This was right now, look at the line of scrimmage. See, it doesn't move, but everybody stays on somebody. So it's up to the back to be able to have eyes, right? And so he falls a little bit short here. Let's see who wins this next battle.
Matt, again, this is where it's critical. We talk about low pad level.
Oh,
I want to see those 5 big guys up inside come off low, fire off, and knock some of those white jerseys backwards.
3rd and inches. Peterman keeps.
I don't think he got in.
Nope.
He was too high.
Yeah.
When you talk about a quarterback sneak, you've got to get low. And he just stood right up.
Ben Burke-Curvin led the charge. So the early call here for John Gruden, 4th and inches.
Look how high he is.
Yeah, he stood up and he pushed the ball out forward without getting any power behind. See that right there?
Could have gotten knocked out. He's lucky.
Yeah.
Offense remains. Zay Jones wide left. Regis again in the backfield.
I like this. Let's see what you got. How tough are you?
Regis runs it and scores it.
Nicely done.
Down in the south end zone, home of the new black hole. Touchdown Raiders.
Got behind that offensive line and just snuck behind it, right? Get that defensive front moving and just come right behind. Well done. Good eyes. That's good vision by Regis.
Good get off, good pad level, and a good finish, and a good opening drive, Matt, to start the game. And what was impressive to me was the Raiders sideline. You look at those veteran players, how excited they were for the rookies and first-year players out there competing for the first time.
I was excited about this offensive line, man.
Yes.
They stayed on people. They gave them time. And Peterman, that's a great first series.
Credit One will be donating $2,000 to local charities for every PAT the Raiders make this season. There's another one. Proceeds will benefit Las Vegas After School All-Stars and the Boys and Girls Club. 14 plays, 83 yards in 7.5 minutes. Opening drive, a good one for Las Vegas. Raiders with a couple of plays of over 20 yards. Nathan Peterman and a friendly new target in Zay Jones. 3 catches, 57 yards, guys, on that drive, and a 7-0 lead.
We could talk. He dropped some dimes right there. Zay Jones, a nice job of keeping feet in, but the offensive line gave him time. That's what I'm most encouraged about.
Of course, 3 starters no longer with the Raiders from a year ago. Rodney Hudson in the middle. Gabe Jackson, who is with Seattle now, and Trent Brown.
Some high-priced veteran players with a lot of experience and real opportunity for some young players. And as Tom Cable said, guys, how quickly can this group come together?
That's it, about young guys. But I know one thing, the attitude, it's a younger team, but the attitude that's on this team right now, it's like, hey, let's get good. They want to get better. That's an encouraging sign.
Geno Smith will get the start for the Seahawks at quarterback. And speaking of young guys with opportunities, that's kind of the story of this Raider defense. And that's one of the reasons why John Gruden wanted Gus Bradley for this job as the new defensive coordinator. A system that they can adjust to quickly. First completion is to Freddie Swain. And there is one of the new guys, Malcolm Kuntz, the defensive end. Rookie out of Buffalo, 3rd-round pick. He'll start at defensive end. Tanner Muse has been penciled in as the new starter on the outside. And look at that group in the back. Merrick Abram, Keyshawn Nixon. That was intended for Wood Anderson, incomplete 3rd down.
Well, between free agency and the draft, the Raiders provided new defensive coordinator Gus Bradley with 13 new players.
Gus Bradley wants this team just to go fast. And so when you do that, the first thing you do is just simplify your defense. You can see he's had experience, he's had success. But when you're putting it in brand new, you got to simplify things and take the thinking part away so you can just react. Now they're matched up, look like a little bit of man on top.
Geno Smith looking underneath, and it's caught for the first down out across the 45 to Aaron Fuller.
Well, that was really good. Arnett had good coverage. I mean, he was right there to make the tackle. Yeah, he's tracking him right there, right across the middle. He knows the ball's coming. Now so he goes for the pick. Kept his arm to the top side, but he didn't wrap it up.
And that's a young player that needs to really take advantage of some opportunities here in the preseason. Guy that really struggled a year ago dealing with some injuries.
He's got the skills, Rich. The kid's got some really nice skills.
Incomplete on first down. Time for tonight's Shift 4 resume for Raiders defensive coordinator Gus Bradley. Famous for Seattle's Legion of Boom, and most recently with the Los Angeles Rams, and now rejoining John Gruden.
Well, as Matt said, Beth, his philosophy really is a player-friendly system where young players can come right in and play. And you learned that from his time in Seattle with John Schneider, the general manager, and Pete Carroll. And Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, all those young players came in and contributed immediately.
Of course, that was the Chargers, not the Rams. Good pressure off the edge. And the sack in the back, Nate Hobbs.
Hobbs came, they had no idea. It was created the pressure that gave him the sack fumble. And it's going to be a Raider football right here. Hobbs came, they had no idea, Rich, that he didn't have any idea where it was coming from.
There's a stinger, came right off the slot. Geno Smith never felt him come. It's going to come right off the slot there. And it's a poor job in protection. Geno Smith has no idea.
And Rich, the other part is Philon inside 96, who recovered the fumble, took it away from him. He had nice pressure to the front to his face, which probably kept the attention of Geno Smith and allowed the sack to happen.
And that's really going to help. Just, Matt, you talk about some bigger bodies inside, guys that can push the pocket, guys that can be disruptive inside and pass with a pass rush.
Philon was a guy that you watched, and he had some quick twitch. He can get off the ball, and he was able to make some plays.
And they're going to review this because it looked like Geno Smith was down on his back when Philon peeled the ball out of there. We'll take the timeout as the officials give a closer look. Could be Raiders ball when we come back. Well, upon further review, they determined that Geno Smith was down when the ball popped out, but it still is a sack and a loss of 8 yards for Hobbs. And Geno Smith got hurt on the play as well.
I think he banged his head pretty good on the grass.
So the new quarterback here is Alex Magoo, a fourth-year man out of Florida International.
So there's only people about maybe my age who would remember Mr.
Play was
Magoo.
stopped to adjust the
I remember
chains
Mr.
for
Magoo.
first down.
I love this
Old
car,
cartoon,
man.
yeah.
I love this car. That guy that took advantage of him, though, every time he wanted to get his car fixed, Matt, that guy was always taking advantage of him.
Well, he could never see, so maybe this Mr. Magoo won't have good vision.
I'll tell you what, the Raiders, I like the fact that the Raiders are getting around the quarterback, affecting the quarterback from the pocket, especially early in games.
Interestingly, Gus Bradley traditionally is not a big blitz guy, but he brought him off the edge there that time, and Nate Hobbs was able to get there. Nate Hobbs familiar with this. Lovie Smith had him at Illinois. They played a similar scheme.
Yeah. So when we do get going again here, it's going to be 3rd and 15. The Seahawks would need to get out across midfield.
Yeah, Beth, earlier he said it would be 2nd down, but clearly it's 3rd and long.
And now the Raider players are stirring up the crowd.
Yeah, if you're the Raiders defensively now, 3rd and long, you got to be thinking screen or draw. You get the ball out quick. You got a quarterback that just came into the game. The last thing the Seahawks want is for him to drop back and take a couple hitches and hold the football and have something bad happen.
A season a year ago here without fans, and the return of Raider Nation this year in the house, making some noise.
So, Rich, if you're an inside rusher and you're coming inside and there's any back around, you make sure to bump into him on your way there. You want to slow this thing down to the middle.
Seattle's got a new offensive coordinator this year, Shane Waldron, and I'm sure he knows that Geno Smith just left the game, and the last thing he wants the young quarterback to do is to drop back and hold the football against this Raider front.
They have adjusted the chains on the far sideline, so it's now 3rd and 18 from their own 44.
Screen, draw, or something quick.
And another stoppage before the play starts.
Officials are having a difficult time with the spot. We know it's 3rd down. I'm not certain they're sure whether it's 3rd and 19 or.
They should just ask us. We'll tell them. So you got Nassibin at one end, and you got Farrell in the other end, and the inside guys are going to be the key. So you have Philon in there, and you have Quentin Jefferson in there, 97. Slow things down in the middle, but you still want to get a push.
To 6:28, 6:28.
Now this was a clock issue, 6 minutes, 28 seconds. Of course, Quentin Jefferson, one of the free agent pickups up front, along with Solomon Thomas, Yannick Ngakoue, and most recently Gerald McCoy. You have some terrific veteran presence up front now for the Raiders.
So you're anticipating going to have a zone. Let them, anything underneath is fine. You just want to be able to come up and make the tackle.
4 guys
there
coming.
It is, Rich.
Yep, there is the screen to the right side. Flag is down, and down goes the runner, Alex Collins.
That's going to be a penalty on the Raiders, I do believe. They're going to get Carl. I think they had Carl Nassib for personal foul.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer.
There's just no reason for it. Third and a bunch, 3rd and 19, and you hit the quarterback in the face. Just watch Nassib up the top of your screen. Yeah, that's not a great call. He just pushes the quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't even go down. Tough break there for the Raiders. Land Clark, our referee tonight.
You get anywhere near that quarterback's face mask or helmet, and they're going to throw that flag. Not the same. Back in the day, Matt Millen used to rip quarterbacks' helmets off, throw them to the boundary, and then just laugh at them, and that was okay then. Well, apparently it's not okay anymore.
What is this game turning into, Rich?
They're too soft.
Adapt.
These quarterbacks are too soft, man. I couldn't have played back in your day.
I started with Rich Gannon and Matt Millen, and I ended up with Waldorf and Astoria from the Muppets up here.
Oh, it's funny. That actually, though, Rich, that is a factor in today's football game. I mean, that was part of the game plan, was how tough your quarterback was. It's not like that anymore.
Stadler and Waldorf. Well, there's a first down throw to the 25 in a gain of 17. That'll move the chains to
they're going to come
Cody
back.
Thompson. Geno Smith is back in the game, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to bring it back. It's a penalty.
Offense number 78.
Holding against the Seahawks.
You play first down.
Yeah, right inside there.
Well, Farrell was held and 2 on the right side.
So this will go all the way back into Seattle territory. Geno Smith now in his 8th year out of West Virginia, former 2nd-round pick, as you see Pete Carroll patrolling that sideline. 12th year in Seattle now, the age of 71. Playoff team once again last year. Geno on the rollout, pressure coming, and he'll have to throw it away. That was Cleve Farrell coming after him.
That was also good defense down the field. Just playing the zone 2 over the top. And they took everything away, just dumped it. Good coverage.
And just a 4-man rush, but good rush lanes, very disciplined with a mobile quarterback like Geno Smith. As you mentioned, Matt, really sound coverage on the back end.
Nice job also by what's his face, 94 up there, Carl Nassib, because he got in front of it and didn't give him any escape.
2nd and 20. 4 guys coming again for the Raiders. Throw underneath, incomplete through the hands of Thompson, and it's 3rd and long.
That's dangerous. You have a quarterback and a receiver running a man-to-man route into a zone coverage. So you've got to be able to see out in front of throws, and if you're a receiver, you don't watch what's out in front of you, you're going to get knocked out, man.
Oh, yeah. We counted on that. Jack Tatum was out there. You never threw that ball. A man route in the zone coverage. They'll do the same thing here. Rich try to keep everything in front of them, see what this 4-man rush can pick up.
Smith out of the gun. Has a man at midfield, tripped up at the Raider 45. That's Freddie Swain, and it's 4th down after a gain of 7.
And that's exactly how that defense is supposed to work. Get your depth, keep everything in front of you, make the tackle.
Javen White from UNLV. It's a big night for him, big preseason for Javen. Trying to prove he's worthy of a roster spot when they cut down to 53.
He can run. That's the one thing he can do very well. Got a lot of learning to do.
Michael Dixon to punt from just outside his 40. DJ Turner standing at the Raiders' 8. High and short, and fair catch around the 10. A punt of 36 yards. The Raiders defense holds. They scored on their first possession. Their second coming up. It's time for Through the Air, brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, really good start for the Raiders offense, and in particular, Nathan Peterman, 6 of 7 for 76 yards on that first drive. Made a couple beautiful throws. Nice job holding the safety with his eyes, getting the ball into the receiver's hands and putting it really in the position where they can get into the transition of the run. I just felt he was very comfortable operating and functioning from the pocket.
I agree with you. And a lot of that is that offensive line. Nicely done by Leatherwood and Andre James inside and a host of those other guys.
Keelan Doss, DJ Turner, your receivers here. And around Turner off the left edge out to the 15.
A nice pickup there, 6 yards. Gives you a second and ability to be able to do what you want, run or pass here.
You know, what's very noticeable for me through the first few minutes of this game is the speed and tempo with which the Raiders are playing. You know, a lot of times in a preseason game, you get guys out there thinking this team is playing fast and with a purpose, and I like it.
Marcel Aitman now into the ball game in the slot right.
Oh, that's
try and dump it off.
Yeah, but that was really nice by Peterman, okay? Peterman wanted to go down the field, and he had to go hot right away. And because he had it coming, and he saw it right in his face, and he dumped it right away, as opposed to what we saw on the other side where he took the sack over here early with the Seahawks.
Well, you got a free blitzer, and just like to see him make that throw.
Yeah.
Give that running back a chance to make a play in space.
3rd down and 4. Peterman checks. The Seahawks back off. They do force him out of the pocket, and his throw out to the 20-yard line. The spot is a good one for the Raiders. 1st down to Keelan Doss.
That is all on Peterman. They got some pressure. They came off the right side. Leatherwood led him to the top side. You can watch, he's looking inside, then he has to get to the top. Now this is Peterman right here. Eyes still down the field, knows where he has to go with the football. The ball's right where it needs to be. Well done.
First and 10, Las Vegas. Emmons hit in the backfield. And loses a few.
Ran right into the blitz, Rich.
And Ugo Amadi.
You didn't see it in that. We talk about, you know, you only get 65 or 70 offensive plays. You don't want to waste them.
Right.
Defense number 52.
That's a good point. Keep talking about that.
Penalty.
And you know, John Gruden, he gives these quarterbacks the opportunity to change plays at the line of scrimmage. You got to make sure you look on that slot corner and make sure you don't have a stinger coming off the edge. You can see Coach Gruden there. He really puts these quarterbacks in a position not to waste plays. If you don't like the look, we give you a menu. He talks about a menu of plays that you can get to. It just comes with experience.
Well, they do get some help with the offside penalty. And looks like another 1st down to Keelan Doss.
I mean, overall, right now, what we're seeing out of Peterman, I'm pleased with. I mean, he's doing some nice things.
You know, just go back to a couple of years ago, guys, and we saw him play in the preseason. He was running around going crazy. He looks so much more comfortable.
Yep.
His feet are better. He knows where his quick answer throw is. You can see him working through the progression, getting to the 2nd and 3rd in the progression. He looks very comfortable and in control of things from under center.
Speaking of center, Andre James right there. You can see him. He's making the calls, getting everybody on the same page. You've got to be smart to play that position. You're the eyes of the offensive line.
Didn't take a snap last year. Vegas runs it out across the 35. But he's been studying behind Rodney Hudson for the last few years. Former undrafted free agent. And now they love his grit. They love his athleticism. He's going to take over in that chemistry that he'll have to build guys with Derek Carr.
Well, the longer you're with, not only with Derek Carr, the most important thing is the guys right and left to you. You got to get everybody on the same page, and you have to operate as one unit. And he's the center of the whole thing.
Opening day, that would likely be Richie Incognito to his left, Denzel Good to his right. Throw back shoulder and reaching out for it. Couldn't haul it in was Aitman.
Put it where it needed to be, though, Rich.
Yep, press man-to-man coverage. This is a back shoulder throw by design. This is well done by Peterman. You just like to see Aitman be able to squeeze this one and pull it down. He had it for a second. Get a lot of opportunities. You got to make them count.
Yeah.
Looking to keep the drive alive. The Raiders 3 of 4 on 3rd down so far. Empty set for Peterman. They'll stack 3 wides to the left. Rush coming the other way, and he'll throw for the 1st down across the 45 to DJ Turner and a gain of 8.
Let's just go with basic football. Step number 1, know what your defense is, so he checks that. Step number 2, everybody on the offensive line have a body on a body, check. And then be accurate with the football. He's thrown underneath the coverage. Well done, caught and complete. I mean, the backer's giving you a little bit of room. You take that room he gives you, and then you just got to beat him to the 1st down, which you did.
3 tight end set here. Matt Bushman, Nick Bowers, Alex Ellis all in there together. Going to run out to the 49 for B.J. Emmons.
Matthew mentioned the 3 tight end set. John Gruden's always been a good play caller, and one of the things that makes him a great play caller is his personnel usage. He constantly is changing personnel groups, formations, motions, shifts. He puts a lot of pressure on a defense to make adjustments on the fly.
Final seconds of this 1st quarter. Peterman may just let it wind on down. And it will. We've come to the end of the 1st quarter of the very 1st game in Las Vegas with fans.
This is the end of the 1st quarter.
7-0 lead for the Raiders. You're watching Raiders football, presented by Credit One. Beautiful look at the exterior of Allegiant Stadium. Filled to capacity with the Al Davis Memorial torch lit. 7-0 Raiders, the 1st of 3 preseason games. Of course, the regular season this year now stretched from 16 to 17 games. 1st quarter for Peterman, 9 for 12, 95 yards. He hit 5 different guys, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, slot. Spreading it around. Trey Regis, the touchdown run from inches away for the 1st score for Las Vegas, and Keelan Doss with another grab.
Got a new offensive line in there. Nick Martin in the center position. You've got Cotton and Amame at the guards. You've got Jones Smith and Brandon Parker tackle position. Tom Cable called Brandon Parker maybe the best swing tackle in football. It's quite a compliment.
Yeah, he's interesting to watch, Parker. He can go both sides. He can go inside if he has to as well.
Here's 3rd and 1. With the fullback in the game. 1st down, Regis churning it out down to the 36. Parker at swing tackle. John Simpson probably your swing guard, and that may leave 1, maybe 2 other spots to be won up front.
Yeah, and that's exactly where Trey Vegas decided to run. Right behind that left side. They did a nice job of clearing things out. He just came behind him, got in behind Bowers, and picked up the 1st.
Here's Josh Jacobs, 28, giving him some tips and some pointers. Back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons for Josh. Arrival of Kenyon Drake in the backfield this year should help. Peterman tripped up by Rasheem Green, lost maybe 2.
Bushman need to get on that block a little quicker, but the nice job here by Peterman. You can see it's coming off the top. Peterman felt him right away. He just kind of got on his horse and tried to run away from him.
Peterman on 2nd and 12. It's the tight end again. Shallow across the middle down to the 31. That's Nick Bowers and a gain of 8.
Bowers is a tight end out of Penn State. Penn State's always had 3 tight ends. The kid who's A lot of competition out there at that tight end spot, but he's doing a nice job here for him.
John Gruden really likes this young group of tight ends. Obviously Darren Waller and Foster Moreau, but you look at Bushman and Bowers, he's two of the young players that he pointed out in our meeting on Friday. He wants to see a lot of tonight.
Derek Carrier, another name around there, very good with the special teams unit. Keeping his feet is Emmons, scrambling down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Las Vegas, as he scoots for 22.
That's really nicely done. Nice job. It was a nice play call, first of all. Second of all, you can watch this, a nice job of coming back inside, and he sees the hole, and he hits it right away, right there. Didn't go down. Kept his balance, eyes up. Good, strong run.
A really good bounce. Getting skinny in the hole. You see a little bit of a spin move there. His job finishing the run.
There's that 3 tight end set again with Aitman down to the bottom of your screen. We'll put Matt Bushman in motion. Regis. They stuffed him, got into the backfield with a good push from Green. Second and goal.
Nice job by that Seattle defense in the middle. It's kind of almost like the old counter trade. They do it with different personnel. The key to that whole thing is just be strong in the middle, which is what they were right there.
Dylan Stoner is the motion man. Check into something new.
Into the menu.
Let's see what he orders. Pass play to Aitman down to the 4. Third and goal. Good block by Regis, too.
Really nice job by the back coming over and cleaning that up, Matt.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you just see him at the top of your screen. He's going to take that blitzer off the edge. That was really well done. Took the hit off of Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, see it right there at the bottom, down on the bottom of your screen. That was really well done by Regis. Or Vegas. We're calling him Vegas tonight?
Sure.
At the end of the night, his name would be Las Vegas.
He's already a touchdown scorer. He's going to get a second. They'll use him in play action. Another good block, buying some time for Peterman. Tipped and then knocked down at the goal line. 4th and 4. Jordan Brooks got a piece of it.
Yeah, you still like that from Peterman, though. What you like is that he was able to buy some time to create the play. It got tipped. It got tipped, and then, of course, he threw it inside, but still gave him a chance.
16-play drive stalls inside the 5. Here's a 22-yard attempt for Dominic Eberle. With Daniel Carlson still out, should be back soon. And the kick is good. 2 possessions, 2 scores for the Raiders in a 10-0 lead, and applause from Derek Carr. From Allegiant Stadium, we are adjacent to the Las Vegas Strip out across the highway. And inside, another scoring drive, a long one, Rich. 3 points on the board.
Yeah, 2 really impressive drives in the first half, led by Nathan Peterman. 14 plays, 83 yards, over 7 minutes. And that last one, as you mentioned, that's 17 plays. 17 plays. That's how you wear down a defense.
Eberle will kick it away. DJ Dallas back in the end zone here for Seattle.
Short kick.
Dallas across the 25, rumbles out to the 29-yard line. A return of 20. And the hit by Tanner Muse. They'll get the Raider defense back out there. I see Solomon Thomas. I see the rookie Malcolm Kuntz as well up front. Back for more Raiders football in a moment. When we told you, help us build it and we will come, you all answered our call. That was owner Mark Davis at the Allegiant Stadium groundbreaking back in 2017. Here's what's coming inside Allegiant Stadium. Of course, UNLV home football games will be here. Raiders regular season games. The Pac-12 championship in December, as well as the Las Vegas Bowl over the holidays. And then next year, the NFL Pro Bowl. And of course, Las Vegas set to host the NFL Draft next summer as well. The Allegiant Stadium schedule brought to you by Visit Vegas. Vegas is the greatest arena on earth. Plan now at visitlasvegas.com. 17 yards on that hook up to Freddie Swain, and a first down out across the 45 for Seattle. See Tanner Muse out there at one of the linebacker spots. Trayvon Morig, number 25 at safety, the second-round pick. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. That was Muse. So here's a guy that never played linebacker, Matt, in college. He was a safety.
Yeah.
And now, after the injury that kept him out last year, he may be the starter outside.
Yeah, he's not a real big guy. He's only like 225, something like that. He's under 230. He comes free on this particular one. He's got a lot to learn. But the biggest thing for him is he can run.
It's fast.
And so that's what they're looking for. They're looking for speed. You could always push to the outside and you can go run him down.
4.4 speed at the combine a couple years ago. 2nd and 10. Seattle tries it on the ground. Nothing doing. Alex Collins ran right into Darius Philon.
Philon was there. Rich, you and I were talking about him in camp. You could just see he's one of those guys. He gets off the ball really quick along with Solomon Thomas inside. Watch the both of them get off, get into your block, and then get off of it as fast as you can. Solomon Thomas is right there. Philon as well. Those two, I like their energy, and I like the way they get off the football.
And Philon has some history in this system. He played for Gus Bradley with the Chargers. Didn't play last year, but certainly played the year before and was an impact player inside for LA.
3rd and 11. Smith had to try and dump it off underneath, incomplete.
He rushed himself a little bit, didn't have to.
Javen White had the coverage. There was some pressure from Kuntz.
4th and long, they're just rushing 4, and they're keeping that zone back, just giving you underneath stuff. Smith has nowhere to go down the field, so he just dumps it.
Michael Dixon will punt it away. Dylan Stoner back inside the 10 for the Raiders. So the defense, a couple of stops here in the first half. And the new defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley.
He's got some room.
Stoner will give it a go. It's across the 20 and swarm there. And a flag, as somebody may have gotten a hold of Stoner's helmet. 44 yards on the punt, 10 on the return. Could be additional yardage. Let's see.
You mentioned how important special teams are. Raiders return units weren't very good a season ago. Their punt return and kickoff return, particularly the kickoff return, they were 30th. That was just about 19 yards a return, and those are two areas where they can get better.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 22. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Las
That
Vegas.
will go against Keyshawn Nixon and the Raiders. Offense returns to the field here at Allegiant Stadium when we come back after this.
Chelsea Gray.
Well, the Las Vegas Aces struck a lot of gold at the most recent Olympics. Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray with the women's national team, and the new 3x3 gold medalists, Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young, all members of the Aces. Reached the WNBA Finals last year. They're in 2nd place as they restart after the Olympic break. They play tomorrow against Washington here at Nick Ultra Arena. 3rd possession of the game for the Raiders, and well-sustained drives through the first 2, Rich. This one will start at their own 7.
And they've showed they have the ability to go the length of the field. And again, guys, I've been really impressed with how Nathan Peterman has really handled situational football, whether it's a backed up situation, whether it's 3rd down, and particularly the young players. Now, keep in mind, they've changed the entire offensive line from what he started with at the beginning of the game.
I like this Vegas kid.
A big hole up the middle for Trey.
This kid's got good vision. He's got good vision and excellent feet in the hole. He makes good decisions at the point. Watch this. Lets things develop, stays there, boom, out the back, okay? Keeps his feet under him, got some good power with him. Like what I'm seeing. And a lot of other teams around the league will be looking at that too.
I got a kick out of Coach Gruden telling us we had to teach him how to get into a three-point stance.
that was funny.
He's got 8 carries, 37 yards. Depending on Jalen Richard's foot injury, he's been out during training camp. There could be an opportunity for a guy like Regis, or maybe one of the newcomers, Bo Scarborough, B.J. Emmons, who we've seen tonight.
Throw it away. Throw it away.
He's going to roll with it, look downfield, and he'll scamper out of bounds.
That's good too.
Yeah.
Just don't want to take a sack.
He was aware of it right from the start, but he got help from the outside. Did a nice job there by DJ Turner. He alerted him. He kept his eyes up, and then he, like you said, throw it away or use your feet. And he's got some decent feet.
He's got some good quickness and mobility for a quarterback. He's not afraid to run with it. A little bit like Marcus Mariota. He's got the ability to extend plays.
Yeah.
Jared Jones-Smith, who picked up the blitzer off the edge there to buy Nathan some time and space. 2nd down and 4. Good pocket. Peterman will step up, run with it, slide for a first down out to the 40-yard line. Patrick Omame was leading the way and a gain of 7.
Omame, the Michigan guy. You see him on the inside. Did a nice job. Everybody's picked up properly. Peterman sees the field and then decides to take off and run. Good decision. Yes. This looks like a team that knows what it's doing, actually.
It helps to have a quarterback that's been in the system, that can call plays, that can change plays. The line of scrimmage gets you out of a bad play into a better one, change protections.
Already 11 first downs in this first half to just 3 for Seattle. Nowhere to go for Emmons. Gavin Heslop got in the backfield.
You mentioned Peterman's welcome to the NFL moment. I did his first game. He played against the Baltimore Ravens. He was with the Buffalo Bills. He wasn't ready to play. He just got thrown out there. It was at Baltimore against that really good defense. I think he got sacked like 10 times. But he had a really rough experience, and he just wasn't ready to play. And that's unfortunate to put a young quarterback out there. You can really ruin his confidence.
Looks much better here today. He'll drop it off underneath. And close to first down yardage. Probably going to be 3rd and 1 to Nick Bowers. The other thing, too, I thought that was interesting from Tom Cable is with the improvements they think they have made on the defensive front, that has helped prepare their offensive line so much better to face pressure.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. When you're going against guys who can't rush the passer and you're practicing against them every day, and then you come up against a real live one, yeah, that's a tough adjustment.
As Tom said, first time they've really seen a quality group of pass rushers to go up against in practice. And as you said, that makes a huge difference.
Gets the guys together even quicker on that offensive line. Another nice hole. First down run into Seattle territory. Trey Vegas runs for 6 more.
I am liking this kid. He has excellent vision. That's about the 4th time we've seen this, and he's decisive. He's decisive and knows when to take the room and when not to. Lets it develop a little bit in front of him and then bursts. Well done.
Not a lot of wasted movement. He's one cut and he's heading downhill.
4-time All Sun Belt Conference out of Louisiana.
Raging Cajuns.
Yes.
Randy McClanahan, old Raider.
Peterman, hit as he released, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Neal, and the turnover gives it to the Seahawks.
Had the back wide open.
Yeah, and he saw him. He looked at him, Rich, and then he decided to go downfield.
You never go broke taking a profit, Matt.
Yep.
You see the back, he's going to be wide open to the right, just doesn't take it, tries to force this one in down the field in between the linebacker and the corner, and the ball gets tipped as it leaves his hand.
First turnover of the ball game. 10-0 Raiders. Each week throughout the regular season, the Las Vegas Raiders, in partnership with Intermountain Healthcare, will proudly recognize local youth football players who have made an impact on their community. Stay tuned for September 13th, where we will recognize our first Intermountain Healthcare Player of the Week. 10-0 Raiders. The total yardage, 212 for Las Vegas, 41 for Seattle. The defense has shut them down twice. It's back to Alex Magoo at quarterback. 3:49 to go here in the second quarter. Alex Collins. Carl Nassib, one of the first guys there.
So Nassib makes the tackle, but the front side made the play. There was nowhere to go, so the guy tried to cut back. Nassib did a nice job of staying square down the line and makes the tackle.
I think that one thing that's very noticeable to me already, I think the team speed on defense, man, is going to be much better. And I also think the depth along that defensive line and in the secondary is going to be a significant improvement over what the Raiders had a season ago.
On 2nd and 8, Magoo play action under duress, throws it downfield out of bounds. Yeah, Gus Bradley talked about rushing in waves. They've got the depth to run in a couple of different defensive lines, and you know, Coach Gruden always talks about we need a fourth quarter pass rush. Fourth quarters were a huge problem finishing games for this defense.
See, Cleve Farrell was able to get some pressure and force that throw, sets up this 3rd down. They don't care who it is. Yeah. They just need him to keep on coming.
Third and 8. Four-man pressure. Magoo tries to spin out of it, and down he goes. The push from the inside, and then caught by Farrell on the backside.
Yeah, and that was they were able to do that because the coverage there. Nice job of the coverage. Everybody's staying in place. They're forcing things underneath. He had to push it to at least 8 yards, and then the rush was able to get there.
It's good to see Cleve Farrell make a play. 4th overall pick in that 2019 draft.
Yeah, Rich.
Been a disappointing start to his Raider career, Matt. Just 6.5 sacks in 2 seasons. They need more production from him in year 3.
There's no question. And his production is based on those 2 inside guys. You saw Philon right there, made the play, as did
Solomon Thomas has been in on a few plays here.
Solomon Thomas really nicely done.
DJ Turner out to the 15, a 12-yard return after a 61-yard punt.
Good opportunity for Nathan Peterman to make up for that previous mistake and also take advantage of the situational 2-minute drill here with 3 timeouts. These are the kind of reps that you really need as a young quarterback.
Omami coming back in.
An 83-yard touchdown drive, the first possession of the game for the Raiders. They added a field goal and a Peterman interception on their last possession. He's out on the right side there. Peterman. Catch is made by Turner to the 21. That should take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll take the break. 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and a 10-0 lead for John Gruden and the Raiders. Two minutes to go here in the first half. 10-0 Raiders with the lead over the Seahawks. Beth Mowens, Rich Gannon, Matt Millen with you here at Allegiant Stadium. And a full house for Raider Nation for the first time. First time owner Mark Davis is in the house. He wanted to wait until all the fans could come in before he would come in to watch the Raiders play. So a big night for him as well.
I don't know that another owner in football would have done that. It speaks volumes about Mark Davis and how much he cares about Raider Nation.
All right, let's see what Peterman can do here with the 2-minute drill.
Nicely done by Peterman.
First down.
Yeah, that's nicely done by Peterman. He saw it. Changed it at the line of scrimmage, gave himself some protection, got the ball out quick.
You know, he is much stronger than he was a couple of years ago as well. King. I mean, you look at his physique. We spent some time with him at the facility earlier in the week. He looks stronger. He's throwing the ball a whole lot better. He's really spinning it well. Got some man-to-man coverage, an opportunity to take a shot here.
Stoner and Turner to the top of your screen. They'll throw to the near side, and it's caught by Doss. Stepped out of bounds across the 30.
They're keeping the clock going. They have that back, the one remaining back right there is a kid out of Wisconsin. Garrett Groshek is a good football player.
This is where he can really hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll get out of bounds across the 40. Move the chains again. 8-9.
All those linebackers and corners and man-to-man coverage with their backs turned to the line of scrimmage, and Peterman saw it and took off.
I like the quick decision by him too. He saw what he had, and then he just ran to space.
You know, Matt, a quarterback with some mobility that'll run, that will drive defensive players and defensive coordinators absolutely crazy.
Absolutely.
Tight end Ellis motions to the near side, and again Peterman will switch it up.
A really nice job changing the protections.
Pressure coming, they pick it up, and it's caught by Ellis at the 45 for a short gain. It keeps the clock moving.
Tell you what, the Raiders are one of the few teams who like fullbacks,
Las
right?
Vegas.
Al Kingold's a starter, and then you got the kid Groshek, number 46. You could see him now. He was hunting. He was inside out, and he went out and helped the tackle to the outside on the right side, and nice clean pocket, was able to get this ball out really well. Nice job by the Seattle defense of taking anything away deep. They just gave him the underneath throw.
At 22, 144 yards and a score. He's rushed for 22 more yards. Peterman, deeper throw this time, and it's caught out to the 40-yard line. Dylan Stoner, gain of 15, and they're into Seattle territory.
Rich, that's another nice job by the rookie Groshek. He's hunting sideline to sideline, picked up that free blitzer on the bottom.
Peterman finds Groshek this time, who snuck out down inside the 35. 6 more yards. Under a minute to go. Another timeout.
Nice impressive little drive here from this offensive line and protections. It's rare for a rookie to know exactly where he has to go. Groshek's doing a really nice job. I've been keeping my eye on him through this whole series, but this offensive line has been able to get a body on a body and given Peterman time to throw.
Well, back in 2020, last summer, Mark Davis said, I won't go if the fans can't go. It's all or none for me. Either all the fans are going to be in there or none. And they celebrated together earlier today, the ribbon cutting. Mr. Davis and Raider Nation signifying the official moment that Raider Nation could enter their new home. And that was pregame today. Carlos Santana had a big old pair of scissors in his hands. He'll be performing here at halftime live.
I saw Popsato there also.
Down inside the 30, another short gain to Turner as the clock rolls.
Short gain, but a first down.
Spike. 36 seconds to play.
Well, you guys remember we're out of practice on Thursday. They ran a number of 2-minute drills, and this is an area where the Raiders were really good a season ago. They scored in the final 2 minutes of the first half 9 times last year. And it's a big point of emphasis. They work on a lot of these 2-minute drills. Not only at the end of the game, but at the end of the half.
I think this has been an excellent first half here, regardless of what happens here for this for Peterman and this offense. I think they've done exactly what they wanted to do.
Peterman on second down. Pass is caught down at the 11-yard line. Keelan Doss, first down Raiders.
Rich Doss stumbled coming out of his break and then was able to recover and still make this throw. Watch him at the top right there. See that? Yeah, nice throw right where it had to be. Nice job of protection. So one of two things, Rich. Either this offensive line is playing really well or this is not very good Seattle defensive front.
I really look at what the Raiders are doing. I think they're dictating the pace and the tempo of the game. Has been very, very impressive.
Back inside the red zone. Peterman, Turner makes a man miss inside the 10 and down to the 6-yard line. Got away from Trey Brown. They'll hustle to the line. And the spike. 14 seconds to play and a drive that started back on the Raiders 16-yard line.
This is Peterman dumping it off underneath. Really well done by Turner. Just strong guy. Got a nice good balance on him.
Peterman's got to be smart here. It's third down, but he only has 14 seconds left. Take a shot at the end zone.
Yep.
Just can't have a negative play.
So if I'm on the defense right now, I want to match things up. I want to match them up, and you're going to want to know that. So I'll look for a couple of picks down here on the inside. They're coming out with a bunch, and that's usually an indicator that you're going to get them.
We do have one timeout left. They can get a first down. Peterman, incomplete. And it's fourth down, looking for Regis. And on comes the kicking unit.
Still a really good drive. I mean, they took it the length of the field, and just over 2 minutes, they're going to come away with the field goal and go up 13-0. Just a really impressive first half. John Gruden talked a lot about how hard this young team has worked in training camp. You'll be pleased, Matt, with the effort and tempo in the first half.
Oh, he's got to be. And best part is they played really well, and they'll be disappointed because they won to 6 instead of 3 here.
Good from 22. This one from 24. And Dominic Eberle is 2 for 2. 13-0 Raiders over the Seahawks. 5 seconds to go in this first half.
The only thing that would have made that a perfect one, Rich, is if they had put 6 on the board. Other than that, that was an excellent drive. They sustained it well. Nice protection. Good job by lots of different players. Most notably, Peterman in the pocket and able to see in the field. Really well done.
Another 14-play drive. Jeez, oh man, 14 plays, 78 yards. That's a 14-play drive to start the game, a 17-play drive, another 14-play drive. They are wearing out this Seattle football team.
How about the time of possession, guys? 23 minutes for Las Vegas, 6 for Seattle. Yep.
A dominant first half. Just surprised it's only 13-0.
That's the one thing you want different.
Had to settle for a couple field goals. Good look at Greg Olsen. It does a great job with the quarterbacks. Been with John Gruden a long time.
Oh, holy cat, I've known him for a long time.
He's a good play caller.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of success in this league as a play caller.
I'll tell you what I love about Greg Olsen. He is one tough sucker, man. He is. You're going to learn something, you're going to learn it. And he won't quit until it gets learned.
On the return, clock will run down. 34 yards, the comebacker for Seattle. A touchdown, Trey Regis, a couple of Dominic Eberle field goals, and a 13-0 lead for Las Vegas as they controlled the pace, they controlled the plays, they controlled the clock. And we have Coach Gruden with us.
Coach, it's Rich Gannon. Hey, you talked to us on Friday about how hard this young team has worked in training camp. You have to be pleased with the effort and tempo in the first half, really on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we are. We're playing a lot of newcomers, a lot of guys playing in the NFL for their first time. We called a lot of different plays. We had terrible field position. We did something with the ball, and our defense has been solid. Yeah,
14-play drive, 17-play drive, 14-play drive. Coach, I'm coming down. I'm going to call plays in the third quarter.
Hey, it's just like the old days, isn't it, Gannon?
Thanks, Coach.
I'll tell you what, give Nate Peterman some credit.
He was terrific.
Did a hell of a job. Yep,
he was terrific. Thanks, Coach.
Peterman, 22 of 30, 193 yards. Got a big first half for the Raiders. We'll be back with all the halftime festivities right after this. Allegiant Stadium, gorgeous night for Raiders football for the first time in Las Vegas with a full house. 65,000 on hand. They saw plenty of activity from the Raiders. Look at that number of plays and time of possession. Beth Mowens, Rich Gannon, and Matt Millen. Strong effort through the first half, guys.
Both sides, offensively and defensively. And so Nathan Peterman, I thought, had an excellent first half. You know, had one mistake, but really he was in control. And the offensive line, Rich, is the thing that really kind of impressed me because he really didn't get much pressure. That was really well done.
It was well done, really, on both sides of the ball. I think we talk a lot about tempo, the pace of play, and even conditioning. I mean, we were out of practice, and it was hot. And this team has worked hard. They've gotten after it. They've had some competitive periods. They've really worked on their conditioning late in practice, having 2-minute drills and competitive periods, and it's really paid off. I think you look at Gus Bradley, he's got to be pleased with what he's seen from his young defense. And on the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned Nathan Peterman, really a terrific start for him, taking advantage of the opportunity.
A couple of young guys I'm impressed with too. Regis has had a nice first half. You saw Groshek is smart with his protections. There's some good kids playing out here. I like the speed at which they're playing. That's nice.
Regis 9 carries, 43 yards. Keelan Doss, DJ Turner, both with 5 catches in that first half as Peterman spread it around. Seattle's had a couple of nice returns on kickoffs tonight. Out across the 35 for Trey Brown. Alex Magoo will stay in there at quarterback for Seattle.
Different group of defenders up front and at the backer spots here. They make pretty much a wholesale change on the defensive side for the Raiders.
It was a defense that gave up 30 points per game last year, 30th in the league. Only 21 sacks and only 15 takeaways. So some draft picks to try and shore things up, and particularly Trayvon Merrick and possibly Nate Hobbs could start in the nickel once the season gets underway. And then the moves and free agency guys that brought in a lot of new faces on that front line.
Yeah, as expected. I mean, the Raiders invested time, money, and draft capital on defense during the offseason, beginning really with the hiring of Gus Bradley, a long-time respected coordinator who is being counted on to restore some of the semblance of order on defense.
He brought with him a couple of assistant coaches, and perhaps the most important pickup, he also brought Casey Hayward, the free agent from the Chargers, familiar with Gus, 2-time All-Pro.
Yeah, and I think what he brought there is a smart player, and I think an experienced player. And so he's a guy who can get fused in with the young players and really kind of take control, which I think he has in his training camp.
A lot of second and third year guys around him in what would potentially be the starting unit in the back. Magoo gets out across midfield, and he's got a first down.
When I first came to the Raiders in 1999, we had a young Charles Woodson. We had a veteran cornerback in Eric Allen. And Eric Allen was a great mentor to a young Charles Woodson. And you look at Casey Hayward and the impact he could have on some of the young corners, and in particular a guy like Damon Arnett, who had some struggles last year. He dealt with the wrist surgery, some concussions, and just needs to stay on the field and make good on that first-round draft status in 2020.
Yeah. Magoo on the rollout will drop it off underneath, short gain.
Mr. Magoo better be careful when he's throwing back across his body inside.
Just asking for trouble.
If I remember, the original Mr. Magoo didn't see very well. So.
Oh, Mr. Magoo, you've done it again.
I probably never heard that.
You can tell Beth, Matt, and I spent way too much time watching cartoons as kids.
You guys were the first of the TV generation, were you? 2nd and 8. Just underway, third quarter, first of 3 preseason games. Raiders next week will be in LA to face the Rams. And then the last weekend in August up at San Francisco.
You know, it's important as you change bodies here in the second half and some younger players get the opportunity to come in, that you don't fall off, that you continue to play like they did in the first half with that sense of urgency, the tempo, the effort, the finish. That's why this is a really important drive.
I completely agree with you. And part of the thing that, one of the things that Gus Bradley's defenses have had troubles with at times is they're not very big at the second level and they get run on. And so that's the one thing I thought was impressive in the first half. They didn't happen to them.
Trying to get some pressure on Magoo. He'll heave it downfield. Tipped up into the air, incomplete. Lady Ray Wilson had the coverage and got a hand up on it.
Well done.
Did a nice job and played the high point of that ball, which was well done. The ball kind of hung up in the air, which allowed him, didn't have to really recover because he was right there. He was playing on his hip. And he goes up and gets it.
He was in good position, made a nice play on the ball.
A little bit of hang time there. Sets up a fourth down.
Hang on.
Looks like they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here. 4th and 4. DJ Dallas is in the backfield with Magoo.
1-1-3-5.
And here comes the Raider Nation with the noise.
This is going to be a huge home field advantage for the Raiders moving forward. This crowd noise, this place can really get loud for the visitors.
They missed them last year, just 2-6 at home. Another place they look to improve. Opening up on Monday night, Dallas got some room out of the backfield, breaks a tackle, and he's going to go.
Blown coverage. Saw it right away. Whoever was supposed to pick him up never went with him.
And then to complicate matters, they blow a tackle. They miss a tackle on the back end.
Yep.
That was the safety.
I can't see who it was. I mean, the safety, you're talking right there, the missed tackle there.
Dallin Levitt.
Yeah, Levitt, but
tackling. It was a problem a season ago.
43 yards for Dallas on the catch and run. And just like that, the Seahawks make it a one-score game after a dominant first half from the Raiders. Extra point for Myers. And it's good. 13-7. Raiders over the Seahawks early in the third. Mic'd Up featuring Yannick Ngakoue is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mic'd up today. I'm mic'd up, Coach. I'm mic'd up. Watch what you say, Coach. I know you got a dirty mouth, man. Relax. Relax. Be great. Be great, DC. I own this drill. Come on now. This is my drill. I get off the ball. Let's be great, fellas.
Mic'd up the other day at practice. Kickoff here to Dylan Stoner. Out across the 15, the 20, tripped up at the 22-yard line. So mic'd up the other day and now mic'd up again tonight, Matt Millen. We've got Yannick with us.
Yeah, Yannick, first of all, you have to like what happened in the first half with your group. You got, it looks like they came out to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the one thing I was watching you in training camp with is your first two steps. And that's a big part of your game. And so how are you integrating that into this scheme?
You know, I've been in this scheme for 4 years in Jacksonville when I had the, the pleasure to play with Coach Todd Wash and guys like that in this scheme. So, this defense is all about speed, effort, and toughness, and that's what I try to bring each and every day.
And that's what it looks like. The other thing you're going to have is some good linebacker play from behind you. So you have to like what you're seeing so far in training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. We have this drill called the pursuit drill, and I can just tell how bad guys want it. It's a drill when we we rush up the field for 5 yards, everybody on the defense, and we sprint all the way to the end zone full speed. And I can just tell guys they're really buying into the system.
Yannick, an opportunity to get back with the coach that drafted you in Jacksonville. Just talk about that relationship, how important that was to you, Gus Bradley.
You know, that was, I think that was God's work. At the end of the day, I wasn't happy where I was, previously that wasn't a secret in Jacksonville, but I'm forever thankful. But it led me to this situation with Coach Gus and to be able to be in a familiar system.
Yannick, you mentioned the other day you felt like you've been a Raider all along. It was just a matter of time and arriving here. What have you loved about this experience and obviously a night like tonight?
I just try to make sure that my game is always on point, and I want to just make my energy contagious to everybody in this locker room. But on the defensive side of the ball, the Raiders, they have a long history of being, really tough, mean, nasty guys, and we need to bring that back if we want to get far into the playoffs.
All right, your teammates pick up a first down here. That allows us to keep talking with you. What kinds of things do you like to pass along to younger guys like Cleve Ferrell and Max Crosby and even the rookie this year, Coots and Stills?
I mean, it's just all about the work you put in when nobody's watching. That'll be my biggest advice, doing extra things in and outside of the building that can make your game rise a whole nother level. That's what makes you great.
Yeah, look at this facility, this stadium, and also the facility in Henderson. I mean, there is no excuse for you guys this year. You got to find a way to get it done. Mr. Davis has spent the money to make sure that you guys have the best of everything. Yeah,
man, shout out to Mr. Davis. He definitely he made sure that it's a lot of things that we can just grab onto from the food perspective, from the recovery perspective. He's done everything that's top of the line, and guys need to really take heed to what he's done for us and utilize everything.
Yannick, one last thing. Gerald McCoy is a guy who just signed this week.
Yes.
And I'm a big Gerald McCoy fan. So if he can get back healthy, you guys can do some damage this year.
Yeah, man. Gerald is a great guy, and just the experience he brings. This is year 12 for him. A lot of guys I can tell in the defensive line room are being super hands-on with him just to grab certain knowledge. So it's a blessing to have him on our team.
We wish you the best and have a great year this year.
Thank you so much for everything, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yannick Ngakoue, one of the new free agents, helping to bolster that defensive front for the Raiders.
Raider fans are going to love this kid. His get-off is second to none. He's a physical guy when he has to. He's not a real big guy. But some guys, there was a guy who played years ago, Fred Dean, was not very big. And Freddie's in the Hall of Fame, and Fred was just as strong as he had to be, quick as he had to be, and used properly, and that's the key. So this guy fits the scheme perfectly.
Well, they're desperate need for someone who can come screaming off the edge. 45.5 sacks his first 5 seasons, 18 forced fumbles. He can be a real difference maker this year for the Raiders.
Peterman on third down. Regis makes a man miss, and he'll get the first down yardage across midfield.
So there's something Peterman did right there that is so important that very few people will see. He took the receiver back inside. Rich saw it right away. But he took Regis back inside because watch where he throws his football.
Right shoulder.
Instead of taking him outside, he throws it back inside because he sees the defender coming up on the backside. That's really well done.
So as a back, you have to trust the quarterback. He's throwing the ball inside. He wants you to turn inside, turn away from the hit, and turn away from the defender. Well done.
9 of 12 now on third down for Peterman and this offense.
I don't know about you, Matt, but I love playing the preseason. Now, you probably didn't play a lot early in my career because I wasn't starting. I played a lot in the preseason. I thought these were valuable reps, and I enjoyed going out there with young players and helping them out and seeing them hyperventilate in the huddle and get nervous and be excited, because this is their opportunity to make the football team. Every rep is a critical rep for a young player, especially now that we only have 3 preseason games. Matt never hyperventilated. I know that.
No,
no, that never happened.
Oh, Peterman holds onto it as he goes down. Cody Barton got to him.
He was looking
sack
down
for
the field.
Seattle.
Yeah, he was looking for something big down the field.
Tight end gets beat.
Yeah.
Nick Bowers.
Yeah, Bowers got to stay on top of that. That's all in his feet and hips. So he blocked where he thought he was instead of where he was going.
So a loss of 9 makes it 3rd and 20
It'd be smart here if you're Peterman. We talk about these situations. If it's there, pull the trigger. If not, find me a completion.
Tried to set up the receiver screen, incomplete, looking for Turner. And it's 4th down.
Not the kind of start Coach Gruden was hoping for in the second half. Give up a score on defense, you come out, you stall on offense.
This will be the first punt of the day for Las Vegas. Corliss Waitman. Boy, and the mood changes quickly for Coach Gruden after the 13-0 lead, and now the momentum swing over to the Seahawks. John Ursua hit as the ball comes down and flags fly from everywhere.
It's going to be on Robertson. He got there early. Got to allow the returner a chance to field the football.
Just a little early. 34 yards on the punt. Of course, Robertson's another guy that, you know, just a second-year man, was fighting for a spot on special teams, possibly as that nickelback, but the emergence of Nate Hobbs and Nevin Lawson sticking around. Robertson has work to do this preseason.
And Beth, you know that if you're not a starter on offense or defense, you better make this team in the kicking game. And it's covering kicks and punts and, you know, being a gunner, whatever you have to do to get the attention of this coaching staff to let them know that you have value. And there's some young draft picks, guys like Nate Hobbs and Lesby and Kuntz. Those guys are going to have to be contributors in the kicking game.
They're going to have to be your mainstays.
Yeah.
You got to produce.
John Gruden, when we talked to him yesterday, said we're looking for a 4th cornerback. We're looking for a 4th and 5th linebacker. We're looking for 1 or 2 backup linemen. And how many of those have the versatility to play on those special units as well?
And they're all core special team players.
Yep.
I think the good news is they're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on this team. This is a better roster than it was a year ago.
There are fouls by both teams. Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team number 21. During the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 11. Those fouls will offset if the receiving team spots a foul. First down, timeout.
So they got a penalty on the Seahawks as well. We'll sort it all out when we come back. (13-7) Raiders over the Seahawks. Well, Mark Davis never wavered from his commitment to play on natural grass here at Allegiant Stadium. The Bermuda grass specifically chosen and cultivated for the Las Vegas climate. The tray slides in and out, takes about an hour to fully move into position. 4 feet deep, over 9,500 pounds. And the Raiders playing on grass indoors.
Boy, it makes such a difference over the course of now a 17-game season. On your legs, your joints, your ability to recover.
There's all kinds of cool things. If you're coming to the game from the Strip, you can walk across the Hacienda Bridge. And then once you're inside, it's a translucent paneled roof, and you see down the Al Davis Memorial Torch. Behind that are the lanai doors, which slide open and shut depending on the weather. A beautiful view of the Strip out the north end zone. And one of the cool features as well, the Wynn Field Club. You got bottle service here at the stadium. You got the Vegas feel down in the north end zone.
Beth, this is a gorgeous stadium.
Yes, it is.
You know what's going to make it even better? How well this team plays. That's all it's going to matter.
Well, it's already a tough ticket. It's going to get even more difficult And his team gets back to the postseason, and I can see that happening this year. This is as you mentioned, this is a much better football team than we saw at this point in the season ago. Much more depth, more team speed.
3rd and 6. Magoo going to pick up the first down. Does not get down. Of course, it will be absolutely bonkers in here. Monday night, September 13th, they open up Monday Night Football against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
That will be a test for this defense to be able to contain that guy, former NFL MVP. To do a good job setting the edge, force him to function as a pocket passer. Don't let him run over the ballpark here and throw the ball around and make plays with his legs.
They won their home opener last year Monday night against Drew Brees and New Orleans. Of course, with the additional 17th game on the schedule, they will have 9 regular season home games this year. They added Chicago on the return of the Mac. And then 3 primetime games, 2 Monday, 1 Sunday. And how much fun will Thanksgiving afternoon be with the Raiders in Dallas to take on the Cowboys? It's all highlights.
It's a great schedule. For the first time since 1978, the league is expanding its regular season from 16 to 17 games. Of course, the extra game will also affect the record books. 1,000 yards.
Right.
No longer the gold standard, Matt, for rushing and receiving. You're talking about just about 58 yards a game on the ground. Rushing, that's not a big deal. I mean, you could get 58 yards a game on the ground.
Well, that would be pushing it. But I'll tell you right now, this Raider defense it looks like it did a year ago, which you didn't like to see.
Get pushed back.
Yeah, you're just losing at the line of scrimmage.
Did you get the sense, Matt, that Rich was already setting the stage for the possibility that Derek Carr could threaten his regular season passing records? Single season.
I think he has most of them already. I think he does.
No, I think this is a different age of football, so I think those passing records have to stay here. I don't think you can compare. That's a different era than what they're throwing in now. Now, I mean, that's 5,000 yards is standard.
Very doable.
Yeah.
Of course, Derek is already the career leader in passing yardage, passing touchdowns, completion percentage. He's been so reliable. Has started and played in 110 of the possible 112 games of his career. 4th year now under Coach Gruden. You could see the confidence in the practices that we attended.
Beth, I don't think he gets enough credit for his toughness. I mean, he doesn't miss starts. He's missed just 2 regular season starts in his first 7 seasons. As you mentioned, he holds the franchise record for passing yards and touchdowns, 21 fourth-quarter comebacks. He's extremely accurate. In the last 3 years under Gruden, 69%, 70%, 67%.
And so, look, and I think he's doing an excellent job. But those numbers should be like that. That's the way this game is now. And they throw a lot of underneath stuff, so your accuracy better be good. You'd like to see the ball pushed down the field a little bit more. Back in the old day, you look at Snake's numbers were up there. Plunkett, his numbers weren't there, but they did. This is a different game. You just own the deep ball.
3rd and 2, a big opportunity here for the defense to get a stop. Seahawks will roll out Magoo, and he's got to throw it away. Good pressure coming from Gary Green, and it's 4th down.
Nice coverage in the flat there. That was the whole key. Took that thing away and forced him to throw it away.
The one thing I did like doing a game with the Raiders and Derek Carr late last season, he said, you know, it's not all those numbers is not good enough because we still have to get to the playoffs and we have to win playoff games and bring the aura back that you guys played under with the silver and black.
It all boils down to, can you get your team to the finish line each and every week? And it's really wins and losses. And Derek knows what he's got to do. He's been pretty productive. And now it's taking the next step in winning division titles and getting into the postseason.
Jason Myers will try for 50, and he missed it to the left. No good.
Ball will start on the 40-yard line.
Raiders finally with some good field position. 2:20 to go in the 3rd, and a big stop for the D.
Sipe is going back to pass, wants to take a shot into the end zone. He looks, he throws, and it's a great play that may have been intercepted, and the Cleveland Browns called on chutzpah once too often. Hold Holy Toledo. It was Mike Davis who made the big interception.
Red right 88, that 1981 divisional game against Cleveland. The Browns were trailing 14-12 on the Raiders' 13-yard line, in position to kick the game-winning field goal. And of course, Mike Davis had other plans. They would go on to win, did the Raiders, and they would also go on to win the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles.
That was one freezing cold game. How Mike Davis caught that ball, I have no idea. Mad Dog, of course, he just passed this past offseason.
Yes.
That was a great player and a phenomenal play.
Terrific Raider as they beat the Browns that day. 1st and 10. Nathan Peterman back out there under center. Trey Regis, 9 carries, 43 yards. He'll get the call again here. According to Lore, I believe the line from Gene Upshaw was, he could not catch a cold barefooted in Alaska. I can't believe Mike caught the ball, because I'm telling you, he had the absolute worst hands in that secondary. But he made the play when he had to.
I was not going to say that. But, yeah.
And our thoughts, of course, to all the families and the Raider Nation as a whole in memoriam. Some great Raiders that we've lost over the last couple of seasons.
Both players and coaches, really just a great group of men.
Once a Raider, always a Raider.
It's a special organization. You know, you look at that uniform, you look at that shield, and
Iconic.
What that represents. You know, the greatness of the Raiders. And Al Davis, all the great coaches, John Madden, Tom Flores, all the great players. A history of excellence.
Tom into the Hall of Fame, joining Mike Ditka as the only guys to win a Super Bowl: player, assistant coach, head coach. By the way, John Gruden, he really enjoyed, his father was at practice the other day.
Offense number 77.
And he said, my 2 favorite G's of all time were together, his dad and Gannon.
Jim Gruden, great football coach and a talent evaluator. He's been blessed. John has had great success. His other son, Jay, former NFL head coach and offensive coordinator.
Grandson Deuce is on the staff with his dad, John. Here's a 3rd and 8 for Peterman.
Deuce does a great job in the strength and conditioning department.
Timeout Raiders. We will take it with them. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. (13-7) Raiders over the Seahawks. Final minute of this 3rd quarter. An inside look at the Credit One Club, one of the many beautiful club spaces here at Allegiant Stadium. As Raider Nation finally gets a look inside. It's been a great night. Just roaming around the concourses, checking everything out. And finally getting to watch their Raiders in Las Vegas live and in person. Third and 8. Peterman under duress, and down he goes. Sacked by Cody Barton, his 2nd of the game, and the 4th for Seattle.
Got pressure on the top side. You're going to see it right down here, so it forces him up. That's when Barton's able to take care of him. Nice coverage down the field. You can see There are black jerseys, but there are white jerseys right on top of them.
Much different situation in this third quarter for the Raider offense after they moved the ball so well in that first half. John Ursua is the deep man. Corliss Waitman, high kick. Ursua will let it bounce, and it's a good one for the Raiders down inside the 10. To the fourth quarter we go in a one-possession game. Raiders and Seahawks. It's the preseason opener in Las Vegas.
Cody Barton was second in the entire NFL last year in special teams tackles, making his presence felt tonight on defense in this preseason opener.
He can run. That's the thing about him, but it's just tough getting him on the field. Last year, just couldn't get out there. Jordan Brooks, just fantastic rookie year last year for him. Talked to him the other day, you and I, Kurt, and he was talking about coverage and how, you know, he didn't really do a lot of that at Texas Tech. And he did it really well in the NFL, but it was just tough for Cody to get on the field.
Well, he's showing them what they're missing tonight. Josh Johnson with his first carry of the evening. Rookie free agent out of Louisiana Monroe.
It's funny with the linebackers, it used to be, you know, just KJ and Bobby, and, you know, there wasn't a lot of depth, but now you've got Ben Burke-Urban is playing really well. Now you get Darrell Taylor trying out there, Cody Barton, and then, you know, the emergence of Jordan Brooks, who, boy, John Schneider, it was kind of funny when he picked Brooks in the first round. You thought, it doesn't really need a linebacker there. He turned out to be a fantastic pick.
Sometimes talent trumps need. Flag. In motion early, maybe.
False start. Offense number 49. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Dom Anderson.
I think that's one of the things that people worry about, you know, that would happen to this offense. You know, you're putting something new in, you're trying to hurry up, you're trying to shift and all that, and, you know, you don't want a lot of pre-snap penalties or any mistakes, things like that. But so far it's been pretty rare. Watching the mock game, watching practice, you don't see a lot of it. I think they're handling the installation of this new offense really well.
They've been fairly clean for this first preseason game. Little sidearm pass by McGough, and John Ursua tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Robertson. Loss of a yard.
Yeah, Ursua is one of those guys you hear a lot of talk about, like the things that he does at practice, and we just haven't really seen it in games yet, and here he really doesn't get a chance to get going. Raiders played that one really well. I think the timing was just off on that, where he was waiting for an offensive lineman to come out there and throw a block for him, and he just never got there.
Ursua played a bit his rookie year, practice squad last year, and going to fight for playing time this preseason. There's DJ Dallas, and he is wrapped up. Good tackling by this Raider team so far in the second half. Keyshawn Nixon on that one.
Yeah, the screen game, and a lot of people will say, well, they're not a good screen team. Well, why not? I mean, how you get that way is coaching it and coaching the timing. And I see the Seahawks have run a number of different kinds of screens, whether it's just a classic one with offensive linemen. You've seen some with where there's a lead blocker who's a receiver, but it's about timing, and you just have to work on it. And it's kind of a finesse play that it's really difficult to play, and hopefully they're able to get that done, because I can tell you as a defender, the screens are really tough for a linebacker.
Let me see what Michael Dixon can do here. That one a little bit off the side of his foot, maybe. He had plenty of room. There is a flag down on the play, however. You just go to expect him to do miracles every time, huh? Got a 59-yarder last time. That one off the side of the foot for 41.
Illegal formation. Kicking team number 49. 5-yard penalty will be added into the play. First down.
And so the Raiders will take it over in really good field position early on in this final quarter of this opening preseason game. Seahawks football is brought to you by the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe. Somehow they find a way to pay the light bills here in Las Vegas. I don't know how these places get enough money to do that. Let's get down to the sideline where Gerald Everett, tight end of the Seahawks, joins us live right now. Thanks for joining us, Gerald.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, you can tell now, I know this is a new team for you, but, you know, you're a wily veteran now. You don't even have to play here in these preseason games anymore.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely fortunate to not have to, you know, come out here and risk it, and, you know, while these young guys come out here and, you know, get their feet wet in preseason games. So it's just I'm pretty fortunate.
Gerald, tell us how, just in general, the installation of the new offense is going. I know it's not really totally new to you, but I know you've been talking about it the other day. We asked you about it. You said Russ, really a sharp football guy. He seems to really be getting it. And, yeah, how would you say it's going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. You know, some of the young guys still trying to get it, but, you know, for the most part, the starters and the veterans, we get the gist of it, and, you know, we're definitely executing fast and physical every day playing Seahawk football.
You know, for people to get a chance to know you at home, I mean, the few times I've met you, which have all been this week, had not met you before, you seem to have kind of a slow, steady demeanor. The same, I mean, but I think you're an impressive young man to have a conversation with. Are you always this calm?
I try to be. You know, I try to be, especially playing the game that we do is definitely stressful. The highs and lows, being an NFL player and just being in the NFL, just, you know, a long season. A lot of trauma, a lot of stress on your body, taking a lot of contact, and, you know, a lot of week in and week out routines, and just you gotta just, you know, do your best to try to stay level-headed and be calm, and moments that you can control. Obviously, in the football game, you really can't control the highs and lows, but, you know, just trying to be a complete player and a complete person, trying to just stay focused, really.
Well, that's great advice for young guys, and you're probably to the age where you're starting to dispense some of that advice. I had a coach that said, "Don't get too high, don't get too low," and you probably have some young guys that you've been mentoring with that message.
Especially some of the young guys in our tight end unit. You know, just being their first NFL football game, coming out, you know, experiencing all the fans and, you know, the highs and lows and the game flow of the game. Just trying to keep them locked in and, you know, just tell them one play at a time, and, you know, bad play happen, forget about it, move on to the next.
Does it change anything the way you do it? You being with a new team, obviously that's veteran advice you give them.
Right.
It doesn't really matter where you are, but it's a little bit different because this is new for you as well.
It's not traditional. Definitely not traditional. You want to come in and step in and be a leader right away, and, you know, show what you can do on and off the field, and even in the locker room and the meeting room. But, you know, these guys, they definitely take heed to it, and I try to give them as best advice as I can without, you know, coming from a veteran's perspective, just trying to come from a teammate's perspective, and, you know, just try to keep them comfortable, but also remember that this is, you know, the professional level, and you got to know your job and be where you need to be.
Well, Gerald, you told us a story the other day that one of your good friends is Chris Carson.
Yeah.
Because you were on the same community college team where you were cut by the coach. You ever, you know, do you want to like pull a Michael Jordan, maybe go back and say, hey, you know, remember when you cut me?
Yeah. It was at Butler Community College. Actually, I met Chris about 2013, 2014, and, you know, unfortunately I wasn't able to stay on that team, but, you know, Chris went on to do great things at Oklahoma State and be a great running back. But, you know, it's crazy how it all comes full circle, being teammates now, Seattle.
Yeah, it seems like in football you always, you know, somebody who knows somebody somewhere else, and especially now you guys all keep in touch, working out in the off season. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Fun ride for sure.
Well, I told you this the other day. I think one of the things that always impresses me when I meet young people, and now this is how old I've gotten, I'm calling everybody young people.
Yeah.
But when I meet young men like you, I mean, you went through a lot of football adversity. You went through 5 different colleges.
Yes, sir.
One of them shut down while you were there, so that wasn't your fault. But you went to 5 different schools, but you still graduated in 4 years.
I did.
And wound up being a second-round draft pick.
I did.
So you're obviously a guy who's got very strong mental focus. Where does that come from?
Just being persistent, you know, staying focused, and coming from a driven family, and just, you know, keeping the goals, the main goals, and understanding that life will happen. Life will be thrown at you, highs and lows, and just staying level-headed like we talked before. You know, and everything will work out. You know, if it's meant to be, and you've done all you can do and left everything on the field, and, you know, of course the academics, but, you know, left everything on the field, I think everything will fall into place. It did for me at least, but, you know, just staying determined and staying driven.
You're one of about 10 guys in that locker room from Atlanta, too. So
oh, yeah.
It helps to have some people you know.
Yeah, we're definitely a tight-knit group for sure.
I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Good luck this season. Stay
healthy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, all right, then. That's Gerald Everett, the tight end. Came over this offseason from the Los Angeles Rams. This is Turner, and gets down inside the 15 before Nate Evans made the tackle. But one of the things I think that people get a chance to see, so often you see these players with helmets on and you don't get to hear them a lot. I mean, there are a lot of quality young men in this locker room.
There really are, and you see what a thoughtful guy Gerald Everett is, and that's and I think it matters. I really do, and I think Pete Carroll thinks it matters. So does John Schneider, that you get good quality guys that want to help each other, because look, that's what gets you a win. And I know that the veterans here are really good at helping the rookies.
Here's Evans fighting down to the 2-yard line. Slipped a couple of tackles along the way before Jordan Miller, the ex-Husky, made the stop.
Yeah, looks like they got a first down out of it. So this is a good opportunity for this defense right here. Down here, they had a goal line stand that they lost earlier. Came down to a 4th and 1. But here you see Donkor, who's the German linebacker.
Yes.
Came over from Germany, and I think it was the NFC West that was allocated foreign players this year, and a nice tackle there by him. But this is a good opportunity for this defense to maybe mount something that would really give them a lot of confidence.
And so the Seahawks call a timeout here as the Raiders have 1st and goal. Trying to extend the lead right now as we get late in this 4th quarter. Seahawks football is presented by Washington's Lottery. Bring it in with Seahawks Scratch from Washington's Lottery. You can win $50 instantly, 2021 game day experiences, or 2022 season tickets. And get a chance to do it all in person like we're doing tonight for the first time in a couple of years. Capacity crowd. At the start of this game, at least 70,000 people in this building. For the first time they've ever had fans here in Las Vegas. They say tickets were going on the secondary market for $1,500 for preseason game. 1st and goal. B.J. Emmons gives them reason to cheer. Touchdown, Raiders.
It's kind of an old school play they ran there. We talked about it in the first goal line stand, just an over the top, dive over the top, and a lead fullback right there. You see Burkervin tried to time it. He just kind of climbed up on top of everybody's heads there and was just reaching for him. Look at how high Burkervin gets in the air. I know he's getting some assistance there from his teammates, but that's a nice play by him. A lot of times you go and try to do that and you totally whiff and just land on the ground on the other side, and he's able to not get the tackle there, but time that up pretty well.
Dominic Everly adds the point after, and it's now a 13-point game with 7.5 minutes left to go in this preseason opener. B.J. Evans with the latest score, diving in from 2 yards out. Well, for the 12, nothing beats the excitement of cheering on the Seahawks in person. Single game tickets for the preseason matchups against the Broncos and Chargers the next 2 weeks are still available, but they're going fast. Don't miss out. Visit Seahawks.com/tickets. You can be there in person, Lumen Field, next Saturday when the Seahawks take on the Denver Broncos. It's called the Dave Wyman Bowl. His 2 NFL teams getting together for a little preseason action.
Come on, Trey, bring this out of the end zone.
Trey Brown, that won't help. Yeah, it's all your fault.
I called that one.
Yeah, you did.
Jinxed him. He's a good returner, boy. I love to see him get going. Another guy not playing tonight, DJ Reed. Really good. He had a 50-yarder last year return against the Rams, and unfortunately had one fumble on a punt return against the Rams in the playoff game, but he was just dynamic. I mean, he ran angry. Like he was gonna score every time, and I kept predicting that he was. I guess I jinxed him too. Kept predicting that he was going to take one back, but whoever the returner is this year it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a good battle, whether it's Freddie Swain, DJ Dallas, DJ Reed or Trey Brown.
Sean Mannion trying to get in this battle for backup quarterback, taking his first snap as a Seahawk, starting at the 25. And he'll make his first pass. And it falls incomplete. Mannion signed just at the start of training camp. Spent some time last season with the Minnesota Vikings, before that with the Los Angeles Rams.
He's number 2 in Pac-12 history at Oregon State as far as yardage, behind Luke Falk. And so he can throw. He can throw it, and I know he's got some experience in this offense.
He's just with Shane Waldron together down there with the Rams. I want to go up and over, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Dom Wood-Anderson not getting much on that one.
Yeah, he hurdled the first guy and then got tackled by the second one, but good effort by him.
Kind of hard high hurdle from a stand position. There you see the night for Alex Magoo, who is done.
It's not bad. I mean, he really, he's just been up and down and off and on different practice squads, and it's not a bad night for him.
Mannion lofting it down the left sideline. Incomplete. Derice Roberson tried to adjust to it and couldn't do it. Good coverage made by Keyshawn Nixon.
And I'd say the mistake he made there, Kurt, is that he didn't put his hands up late at the last moment. He started slowly to kind of bring him up, and the defensive back with his back turned can kind of time that out. A lot of the really good receivers will just throw him up at the very end. Don't let your eyes get big. Just, you know, try to casually take it in, and then don't throw your hands up early. You had to wait a little bit later, and that allowed the DB to knock it down.
Michael Dixon. Stoner doesn't get away. Credit Will Sunderland with the stop there.
Nice fake here. That's really impressive right there. And it's the little things that you have to do. A couple of stiff arms. And Alex Magoo right there running the ball, and then the throw back across the body. I didn't think he was going to be able to make that happen. And then pretty easy one here to DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas does the rest, but did a really good job of not only finding the open receiver, but kind of battling, you know, the scramble there. Thought it was a great read. Made some good throws, and then made some good decisions.
So the Seahawks have played 3 quarterbacks tonight. Nathan Peterman has been the man all evening long for the Raiders. And he starts this one off with a handoff to Garrett Groshek. Jarrett Hewitt with the tackle. Starters not playing for both these teams, so no Derek Carr. And Marcus Mariota is their number 2 quarterback, but he injured his leg during their scrimmage last Sunday. He did warm up tonight with the team, and so he looks to be okay long term, but they decided not to play him tonight either.
And I think a lot of teams are going to, especially in the first preseason game, you're not going to see guys like Derek Carr or Russell Wilson. Certainly not Russell Wilson. And, you know, there's a couple of different places where they've got battles going on, or it's a young guy. But even then, I think that a lot of teams are just going to limit it to practice. The other thing you do is you run plays where you know your quarterback's not going to be holding the ball for a long time, possibly taking a blindside hit or something like that.
You see the Raiders call a timeout.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw that happen earlier in this game to Geno Smith. Got caught on a blitz, head hit the turf, or took a big hit, we should say. We didn't clearly see where his head hit, but he got a concussion. Came back and tried to play a couple of series, but then eventually pulled from the game.
Yeah, I thought it was a little, and I'm all for, hey, you're on the football field, and you know, be ready at all times. But it's just weird to me early on in the first preseason game that you're bringing a corner off of blindside, backside, especially with a rookie tackle, not able to protect him or really even recognize that. So, you know, get your second string quarterback, you can get him hurt that way.
They did in this case. Hopefully he's okay long term to Smith. Here's Peterman to Aikman. Somehow pulled that one in and kept his wits about him.
A late flag goes down. I wonder if they think that was maybe a late hit or out of bounds hit.
personal foul, face mask. Defense number 47. A 15-yard penalty if he hasn't run the play. First down.
And that's called on Jordan Miller, former UW player.
I'd say 90% of the time it's accidental, and you're reaching out there. He's just trying to get the blocker off of him. It's kind of interesting. If you have the ball in your hand, though, you can stiff arm a guy right in the face mask and nobody says anything about it.
Which side of the ball did you play on?
I'm going to complain.
Defense,
on
that's what I thought.
Defensive
Okay.
players.
Okay. Here's a handoff. And Seahawk fans recognize that guy, Bo Scarborough. One-time Seahawk, stopped by Trey Brown. He's one of those guys that has found a way to make a nice career for himself.
Yeah, I remember him when he was in camp, and you know, they've had a couple of times where one of them was Alex Collins. Now he's back, but they let Alex Collins go. He goes to Baltimore, which you always hate seeing. Goes there, runs for 800 yards, 900 yards, just what you wanted him to do in Seattle. But he's back and looking really good. So it's nice to have Alex Collins back in town, and he looks different than when he was here last.
7-yard pickup by Scarborough on first down. Gets it again. And he is met right before the 45-yard line. Lakeem Williams out of Syracuse. Just signed this week. Getting a tackle.
Yeah, we saw Darius Robertson earlier. He was a guy that they had cut, and then they re-signed him. They signed him. They cut him. Like 2 days later, they re-signed him again, and so we're seeing lots of kind of late additions here, and you know, not a lot of guys playing. You know, there's a couple guys on the PUP list like Travis Homer that allows him to sign a player like that.
Well, Williams out of Spanaway High School in Tacoma certainly helps.
Look at that.
Little trickeration, as they like to say.
Guess
There's
who?
Turner, DJ Turner, and Alton Robinson meeting him.
That's the second fly sweep that he has thwarted, and it's just discipline, just staying backside, takes on the block really well. And the problem with the fly sweep is, you know, they hand the ball off when he's running full speed, and it makes it difficult to get out there. So you have to be disciplined. It's meant to cut your defense in half, kind of divide them one side from the other. But if you have somebody that's disciplined and stays home, and especially takes on the block the way Alton Robinson did, I mean, this guy, he's having a fantastic game and making a great case for himself.
Raiders get the first down. Scarborough stopped before he could get back to the line of scrimmage. Lakeem Williams again, along with Walter Palmore. And Williams just signed on Wednesday. Being local certainly helped. Seahawks looking for linebackers. He's right there in Tacoma.
Yeah.
Give him a call. Get in the car. And next thing you know, you're there.
That's right. Yeah, well, Connor Weddington is another local kid, Stanford wide receiver who is from down in Spanaway. So, yeah, it's nice seeing some of the local kids. We've got a couple of UW guys, including Will Disley, on the team. So nice to have go local.
Here's the handoff to Scarborough. Tries to go up the middle, doesn't get far. Cedric Lattimore was the first guy there. There's a name you said that you've been impressed with tonight.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job tonight. He really has inside, and that's a tough battle in there. And, you know, I think he's more, as I said before, putting good film together for whatever the next team is, or, you know, possibly getting re-signed here on the practice squad. But, yeah, he's gone out there and done some good, tough, hard work. Those guys inside are tough guys.
This is a 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Raiders trying to run out the clock on this preseason opener.
Seahawks football has been brought to you by Lumen, trusted technology partner of the Seattle Seahawks. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, a nice look at the strip here where the Seahawks trail the Raiders 20-7 with 2 minutes left. Aaron Levine alongside Jordan Babineau. And Jordan, what stood out to you in the second half?
Yeah, defensively, you look at the linebacker position. It was Darrell Taylor that made a lot of plays, getting to the quarterback. Just played a solid game overall.
We're going to have a lot more time to talk about Darrell Taylor and the rest of the Seahawks coming up in the post-game show. Highlights, analysis, and reaction from the team. But first, back to Kurt and Dave.
All right, scoreboard may not be reflective of it, but this defensive line for the Seahawks played really well tonight, particularly a lot of the young guys. Alton Robinson, Rasheem Green, Darrell Taylor. I mean, we saw a lot of big plays from those guys.
Yeah, a little bit of work from L.J. Collier, who's right behind Darrell there. By the way, talk to him. I know I say this a lot, Kurt. Fantastic kid, Darrell Taylor. I say that about a lot of these guys because it's true, but yeah, really like what I heard from him. But you're right. I mean, it's a disappointing score, and you know that first half was kind of tough to watch. But there's a lot of guys making cases for themselves.
2-minute warning here. Raiders with a new quarterback, Casey Cookus, and he hands it off to Garrett Groshek. Cookus just signed this week. After we mentioned earlier, Marcus Mariota kind of got banged up in the training camp game. One play and done. You get signed, you get to hand it off on third down, and then you get high fives and fist bumps on the way out.
Hey, get a week's pay.
There you go.
A couple nice meals. Thanks for coming.
Please reset the clock to 152, 152.
Oh, he's going to tell everybody about that forever.
Thank you.
His grandkids' schoolmates.
Be a 30-second timeout.
That's one of the fun things, actually. I mean, seeing a dream come true for some of these guys. Yeah, whether he makes it in the NFL, look, who knows? It's probably unlikely, but it's a great story for him.
Yeah, and you'll tell that to your grandchildren, and not many people get a chance to get. Not many people get a chance to get in and play in the NFL at all.
Derek Carr said that's the best third down handoff I've ever seen. Good job. Good job. How'd you forget time? I mean, this is a game, so it's good to see guys having a little bit of fun out there.
Yeah, Derek Carr seems like he's well liked, and you know there's kind of a thing it seems like between him and Gruden, but I feel like they like him here, and he's been a good quarterback. They're just in a tough division, Kurt. I mean, the AFC West, I'd say next to NFC West, maybe with the tougher. You look at AFC Central or North, I should say, with Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
But
Cincinnati's
the doormat there. But you know, you look at in the NFC West, everybody's good. You know, I mean, even the Cardinals, who are probably the fourth team most of the time. But yeah, you look at you're in the AFC West like the Raiders. You're playing Mahomes twice a year. You know, Denver's always pretty good, and the Chargers now.
They found their quarterback.
They sure did.
There's no question about that. Justin Herbert. Spectacular rookie season. Sean Mannion threw that one a little bit high for Cade Johnson. Falls incomplete. We mentioned Johnson earlier from South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
The Jackrabbits, not the Bison. Yeah, he had a couple of seasons there where, you know, and he's broken all kinds of records at South Dakota State.
Here's Mannion. Underneath Cameron Scarlett out of Stanford. We talk about Johnson. He didn't even play his senior year. Remember, because they were a smaller FCS school.
Right.
They started in the spring. He decided to get ready for the draft and opted out. So he didn't play and did all those in 3 years, all those numbers you talked about.
Yeah, just a really fantastic football player. And, you know, coming out of a small program like that, yeah, you find lots of guys like that, you know, and really like Central Michigan, you know, where, or actually it was, Central Michigan, where Nick Ballore is from, Dwayne Eskridge from Western Michigan. Some of those smaller programs, you get some really good players in the NFL from.
Now here's Cameron Scarlett. He's from Stanford. Anybody good ever come out of there?
Every once in a while. I'd say once every, let's see, how long has it been, Kurt? 40 years?
You're calculating how long ago it was you played at Stanford?
How about Aaron Levine? Aaron Levine went to Stanford.
There we go.
There we go.
This broadcast is full of Cardinals.
I think Aaron and I always find a way to work a Stanford guy in there, but yeah, you got Colby Parkinson here as well. So,
sad way to end this for Javin White. 31 seconds left. He kind of had a helmet-to-helmet hit and a little slow getting up.
This is what, the coaches and GMs, they just hate it. They hate the preseason from the standpoint of let's just get out of here, you know, healthy and not have anybody significant to our team get hurt in a meaningless game. That's what you and I were talking about the preseason earlier on, and you know it's great for.
Due to the injury, Timeout, Las Vegas. Their third and final of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Had to take a timeout there, but yeah, you just don't want to see any of your significant players go down in the preseason. But you know, it's tough for coaches because you want to get the work in. You want that full speed work, but you also don't want to put your players in harm's way.
Let's see if we can finish this out. Mannion from the shotgun. Pass caught. Connor Weddington, another Stanford guy. Went to Sumner High School out of Lake Tapps. Grew up a Seahawks fan. Seattle calls the timeout. But
third and final of the
a lot like we were talking about Cookus and getting a chance to live the dream. You get a guy like Weddington who grew up a Seahawks fan, getting to put that uniform on and play in a game. Again, who knows what the future holds, but this is a story he'll always cherish.
Right. Well, and you look at like Marcus Trufant, who played here, Jermaine Kearse, Will Dissly. He's from Montana, but you know he grew up in the region where we're broadcasting this game, and grew up a huge Seahawk fan. Started off a D lineman at Washington, but yeah, it's nice having the local guys. There's three pretty good football players standing together: Freddie Swain, DK Metcalf, and Bobby Wagner. Wagner, future Hall of Famer.
No question about that. Here's Mannion. To the air, and it's caught. Cade Johnson with the reception. Mannion trying to hustle up and get one more snap at least before this ball game ends. Spikes it. So 7 seconds. This will probably be the final play of the game.
Just a great opportunity. We were talking about this earlier. Here's a situation that you practice, but you want to see it come up in a game. A lot of times you get to the season and something happens where you're like, we didn't see this. We've never seen this before. We practiced it, whether it's a Hail Mary last second throw, or trying to run out a clock, or some kind of a red zone situation. So get a chance here to practice this and kind of get the timing down and the tempo.
From the 45-yard line. Mannion's got time, winds up throwing it underneath. Cade Johnson, and that will do it. And so that'll be it for the opening game of the preseason. Seahawks come up short at Las Vegas. 20-7 is the final. Starters not playing for either one of these squads, so I don't know how much you read into it, but a good time here had by the folks in Las Vegas. It's good to see the fans back. And you know what? It's good to have, I know it sounds weird, but it's good to have preseason football back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the fans. Next week, get to go home, be at Lumen Field, where there were so many great moments that could have been way louder last year than they were. It's kind of cool hearing the crack of the pads and stuff like that, but there's nothing that replaces the fans. So having them back is really going to be nice. You see, there's my old linebacker coach, Richard Smith, wandering aimlessly through the crowd there. Good guy, really good coach, but this is the cool thing about football. You know somebody on every team. You know a guy who knows somebody else, and it's a real camaraderie. And you saw Gus Bradley down there. A lot of the old older players reuniting with him because he coached them up here in 2012.
Gus Bradley on that Raiders staff now. Tom Cable on that Raiders staff.
That's right.
Guys that were part of the Super Bowl Seahawks. Jordan Brooks and some of the young guys on defense performed rather well tonight. They gave up 2 touchdowns, one on the opening drive, and really kind of settled down after that.
Yeah, and I loved seeing some of the guys that you really wanted to, and particularly D-line. That's been a big question mark, not from the standpoint of whether they have enough talent, but just who's gonna rise up. And Rasheem Green, I've talked about him for years, that he's just a really nice player to have on your roster. I mean, maybe he could break loose and have a double-digit sack season, but other than that, he's going to be a good, responsible, solid piece of your defense that gets 4 or 5 sacks a year. So he had a good game. That was nice to see that, and kept our players relatively safe. I think just Geno Smith with the possible concussion, and I hope they were just being extra careful there.
Yeah, Geno Smith and Phil Haynes, the only 2 Seahawks that we saw leave the field, and hopefully, both left under their own power, and hopefully that's a good sign going forward. And so the Seahawks fall to 0-1 on the preseason. The next game will be next Saturday at home against the Denver Broncos. And we'll see if that defense can play like they did here in the second half, led in part by Cody Barton, who joins us right now from the field. Thanks for joining us, Cody.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, a couple of sacks there for you in the third quarter. It looked like you really, as a defensive unit, turned it up in the second half. What was said there at halftime that maybe made a difference, if at all?
Yeah, our biggest thing was, putting them in longer third down situations, and then also, they were converting a lot of third downs, and just, when we get in those situations, we got to get off the field. So that was a big emphasis at halftime.
Cody, tell us about the second sack. To me, it looked like maybe you had coverage on the back, and then he blocks, so then you can go rush the passer, or was it something different than that?
Yeah, no, I had him in man-to-man, but I saw him go block it, so I just went right away.
You guys still call that green dog?
No, hug rush.
Hug rush.
I called that in college green dog, but no, we call it hug rush.
Yeah. Oh, nice job. 2 sacks.
Thank you.
Yeah, big game for you. And how did you feel it went? Were there anything you liked or didn't like as Tyler Ott clowned you behind your back there?
Was he talking smack?
Yeah, he was just making faces.
No, it was fun. It was good to be out there. We haven't played football in a long time. It's been about a year, and so it was good to get out there, run around, hit some people live for the first time. And the first drive when I was out there, I was kind of just, I don't know, I had to get my groove. But after that first year went by, from there, it felt good.
Hey, Cody, I know it was on the road here in Las Vegas, but how much fun was it playing in front of a full house again?
Oh, it was awesome. And being in this new stadium with all the people, and it was only half full, but it felt like it was loud. It's awesome. It feels good to be back.
Tell us a little bit about Bobby Wagner and his leadership and just what he means. I know I see you talking a lot to the players out there, Cody, especially when you were a rookie in second year, which I think is smart because, you can just never have too much knowledge. But tell us what he means to that linebacker group.
Yeah, for the linebacker group, he's our leader. He's our core guy in that room, and obviously he's been there the longest. But no, just the wisdom that he has from playing and the experience and just his style of play and his example that he gives us. He's always teaching us and always leading us as a group, and it's good to have him in our room.
Not only in your room, that entire defense. It seems like you're the happiest defense. You look around the league, guys are always smiling and having a good time. I guess you can do that when you're playing well. Anybody on that defense that does a great job of keeping everybody else loose, if you even need it. Because it doesn't seem like it. I mean, it's a collective group. We all have good attitudes, good energy, and we all just feed off each other. If someone's down, the rest of the team's there to pick that guy back up. And so it's all about having a good attitude and energy as together.
What are your goals going into this year, Cody? Do you go in every year with something that you want to accomplish?
I do, yeah. But also, so it's funny. This offseason, I read a book called Atomic Habits that actually Bobby suggested. And you should read it. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's just kind of about forming habits and goals and stuff like that. Atomic Habits. It gives you a good outlook.
Cody Barton, Book of the Month Club.
There we go. Nice.
Atomic Habits.
There we go. We will make sure you get it, and we'll give you a book report next time we see you.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Congratulations on a good personal night. We appreciate you joining us, Cody. That's Cody Barton, linebacker for the Seahawks. Had 2 sacks in this game tonight as the Seahawks come up a little bit short here in this preseason opener. 20-7 the final.